Welcome down to another News Game Plus. I'm Dermie, and I'm here as usual with New Game Plus executive producer Jason O'Callaghan, who can't talk right now.
Well, no, I can. I'm better than I was, but I'm definitely got a deeper voice than I usually do for the
And
people.
anybody wondering why he sounds like his voice is all hoarse and croaky? It's because he's been yelling at me for the past week because I upset Neil Druckmann.
It's more. I'm surprised. It's like, we sit there and we go, if someone joins the military of a foreign invader of a known international enemy, you always feel disappointed in them, and the fact that you got promoted instantly to lieutenant of the Sony Defense Force was crazy to me.
I'd be upset, but I can't hear.
Defending Sony's bad positions, that's crazy.
No, can't hear.
I said I've given you your first job. It's like
talking.
Well, what do they call Sony's Hasbro division?
We started.
Are you in charge of the division online with all the Sony sock puppet accounts?
Yeah, I haven't let go of it for a week.
Yeah, no, it was just interesting to me. It's an interesting heel turn. Interesting heel turn in your 50s to go full Sony Defense Force.
Well, I'm just trying to get our sponsorship money up and a couple of stuff. Yeah. So there we go. Anyway, so it's actually. Yeah, the internet's only talking about like two things right now.
AI and another thing that starts with I. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Superman.
Yes.
Have you seen the Superman movie?
I have seen the Superman movie.
I'm intending to. Although I've got to say, before you said it was like it's a superhero movie and they're always lame, but they're kind of fun. But I got to say, why are people obsessing so much about bullshit like superhero movies and that Snow White movie? It's like, they're not exactly Oppenheimer. They're just bullshit.
Okay, I'm going to be real. I would watch this Superman movie another 10 times before I would watch Oppenheimer. I do not like Christopher Nolan as a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah,
no, he's a controversial opinion. There's my one for the day.
Yeah, no, he's the opposite of Neil Druckmann. He's good.
No, I don't think he is. I just think
makes good product.
Well, but yours.
He's actually made more than one product.
Okay. So
let him make the same movie for 10 years.
Let him say this. The Zack Snyder bro is telling you, by the way, that someone's good.
I like Zack Snyder stuff.
You do, because you're brain dead. You've definitely been kicked in the head by a horse.
If only I could hear.
Yeah. But no, how do you feel about Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad, the new one?
They're all right. Yeah. I mean, James Gunn does stuff that's silly and funny. His silly, funny dialogue stuff's not as good as Joss Whedon at his peak.
I disagree. I think Joss Whedon has always been contrived, but yes.
Well, he's an interesting person outside of all that stuff.
I think Joss is better on TV. I think Joss is better on TV than he is in movies. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I think, but
well, Firefly was both. Yeah, so I'll go with that. So Superman was it actually good? Was it, or you just want to watch it a lot?
No. So it's multiple pronged. My criticism is one that I would use for, in a different way, for your favorite game, Last of Us. It's not the story beats being told.
I'm going to rename the podcast.
The Sony Defense Force. Sony Defense Sony Defense.
Every episode we have to talk about Last of Us.
No, but realistically, the main issue I have with it is, it just starts. So did you watch the small teaser they put up, the 2-minute teaser?
No. I've seen clips. Look, people post clips on Twitter, and they're all being idiots, and they're all like, "Oh, apparently it's about immigrants." And you go, "Yeah, the guy's kind of like came from another planet."
The king immigrant, right?
What do we? Well, he's actually like, is he an illegal alien? Well, he's actually one of those words, literal.
Yes, quite. I mean, he's both technically.
And I saw the Ben Shapiro thing. It just highlights Ben, because Ben Shapiro, I maintain he's just nowhere near as smart as he thinks, and he was carrying on about it like, dude,
I would like you to stop picking on Ben Shapiro. His wife is going through a very serious medical problem where her vagina has no moisture, like it's like the Sahara Desert. How dare you?
I'm sure Ben can his little cactus,
little protruding mushroom cactus. Anyway,
his sister's got an OnlyFans apparently.
Have you seen his sister?
Yeah.
Right, that's all I'll say.
Well, there had to be some good in the family.
The genes had to go somewhere, right? Keep the bloodline strong.
And Shapiro's like 4 feet tall. Nothing against short people.
That's your tall privilege coming through. You're not even that tall. So to the movie,
I've got talking privilege now, because you can actually hear me when I talk.
to the movie.
Jason, I can barely.
It sounds good. It sounds good. Women dig it. Don't worry.
Are we doing like those 0055 photo?
Yeah, late
phone
night
numbers?
confessions. Yeah. Was it love songs and what was it called? It was
Love songs and dedications.
dedications. That's it.
Casey Kasem was deeper.
Yeah, that's
People are going to be confused by this. Anyway, Superman. What was a super duper man?
Superman. The biggest issue is you would have seen the clip with the dog when he lands and the dog jumps on
The
him.
dog ain't die.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's a spoiler for
Can't
it.
believe you like it. You always like it when doggos get killed.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing, right? Like, meat back on the menu, boys. Basically, that's the start of the movie. That literal scene is the start of the movie, and I thought it might be based on thing, but the problem with it is, like, everything about the movie is good. Superman is played as the naive hick farm boy that he is, the alien trying to see good in the world. The kind of the simple fight against the message of his parents, you know what I mean? Like the framing of his parents is different to what you remember from, say, Christopher Reeve. But I would say, as far as in tone and everything, this is the closest to that Christopher Reeve Superman, like the genuinely good-hearted man trying to do his best.
Oh, okay,
thing, right?
Okay.
Lois Lane's good.
So it's not dark like the DC's were being. Obviously, it's got James Gunn.
I think it and again, I think it just like Day of the Dead, which is Zack Snyder's best film, which was written by James Gunn. He handles.
Oh, really?
Yes, he handles. That's why it was good. He handles these topics in a smarter way. Like it's a more fun, more absurd kind of way, and a lot of the like a lot of it's a pastiche of the traditional, Silver Age Superman mixed with 70s and 80s. There's bits and pieces of everything, but as a general rule, Nicholas Holter's Lex Luthor is great. Like, he's just a megalomaniacal prick, and Nicholas Holt's a great actor. Like, he was a great actor from when he was a little kid. Have you ever watched About a Boy?
No.
About a Boy is probably one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Hugh Grant, Tony Collette, and Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult plays the son.
That's a while ago. I forgot
Yeah.
Collette, but yeah.
No, Tony Collette was in. She was in something last. She was in Mickey 17. She was the wife in Mickey 17.
Oh, she was too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Anyway,
Forgot about that.
no. So look, the movie itself is good. I just think I get doing the start and the middle of the story kind of thing, but it just, I feel like it didn't address some of the actual story points that came up and set them up well enough. But it pays them off well because James Gunn is a good filmmaker. What's her name? Rachel Brosnahan. She's suddenly big now, which is good.
I don't know who that is.
She plays Lois Lane. She's in Magnificent Mrs. Maisel. She was in. Did you watch the Amateur with Rami Malek?
No.
So that's where he's a CIA analyst and he decides to go all Liam Neeson on it.
Every second movie is about CIA these days.
I know, because and that was the thing.
Because he's funding all the services.
Let me go back to Amateur after Superman. Superman is worth watching. I think you will still like it, even though you're a Snyder.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
No. The reason I like the Snyder stuff is I actually liked how DC was darker than Marvel. Because everybody gets them confused. People go, my favorite Marvel character is Batman, and you go, even I know that's dumb, but
I think I
like the difference.
If you want to do cinematography conversations with Zack Snyder, I enjoy Zack Snyder's cinematography. I just don't think he has the creative chops to string together a 90-minute piece. If you look at that first Superman movie, it is 5-minute vignette after 5-minute vignette after 5-minute vignette. Is literally like 15 what's the symbol of music videos put together, stitched together. And I think David Ayers is the worst mainstream script writer in Hollywood. The guy who did Justice League, the guy who do you remember how angry I was at that fucking movie, at that stupid Batman Superman?
Yeah, I can't tell because all the angry blurs.
Yeah. No, but remember, we're on the plane to Japan. This is for that Christmas.
Yeah.
I come storming down the plane. I'm like,
and the poor air hostess is looking at me going, what the fuck with this guy? And you're hitting the roof.
Martha, why did you say that name?
Because I yelling at me at the back of the plane. What's his fucking Martha?
I thought it was a meme. And I watched it. I'm like, that is the
it was a meme.
The worst segue I've ever seen. Like, if that is top tier writing, give up. Just stop writing. But look, my only thing is I've said this for the last 2 or 3 years. Since COVID, we are getting a lot of good movies, and I really hope we start going to the movies again. And then I realized I paid $27 to Event Cinema to sit in fucking George Street while the Indian guy behind me got a hand job, and I'm like, I actually called it out.
So you get that only $27?
Yeah.
That's cheap as fuck to get a hand job.
So I, like,
Which cinema is this?
Something,
If a little service for our
something you
listeners
just
here,
hear, like,
$27. That
Like,
is
you-
that is a
you
bargain.
just hear the slaps right behind Dan. And I just turn around and go, fucking hell, if she keeps doing that, I should pull it off. And the Asian couple on the left-hand side
But
just started howling.
still, for $27, fuck,
So
right?
relax. It's not that expensive nowadays. And so yeah, no, and the Asian couple on the left hand side just started pissing themselves with laughter. And yeah, I don't know whether he was nervous and he was just slapping his foot, or whether it was the worst. Because about midway through, and you could see it, and it was right behind like Dan's head, and I'm just like,
Oh, geez,
Yeah.
yeah, duck.
and yeah, I mean, he's only little, right? So it was perfect for him, so it wouldn't have gone over his head. But yeah, no. Anyway, moral story is Superman's worth it, even if you have to deal with movie theater hand jobs.
There's a place in Eastland that gives you a burger and a cinema for $50.
I was going to say a burger and a hand job for $50.
Well,
Like,
no, the hand job.
pretty good, yeah.
Anyway, so that's it. Hey, I saw a movie too.
yeah.
I just Ballerina.
Oh yeah.
John Wick one. Oh, I really like that.
So my relationship with John Wick, and I'll give you some background. I love the first one. I get it. The meme, it works really.
First one's fantastic.
First one as a simple concept thing. Two, I was like, this isn't as good.
Ruby Rose was the shittest villain ever.
She's the shittest thing.
She died within 30 seconds.
Ruby Rose is the worst part of everything that she's in, and I do not understand the appeal from. And
Nah,
I think,
never
and
understood.
then I look at her and I'm like, I get that appeal because I'm like that, but like, as far as her ability,
You're not her type.
I understand that, but again, I mean, it goes back to who. I'm sure I've told you the story. Who was not even my high school crush, my like, between like 7 and 9-year-old crush. Did I ever tell you? Take a stab. Think of my age.
How old are you again?
I'm literally 40. I literally turned 40 this year.
Like 1990 something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, 1990 something.
Christina Applegate.
No, that'd be way too straightforward.
Okay.
Jodie Foster. So that should give you an idea of the psychology of
the
my
powerful Hollywood lesbians.
women who aren't interested in me, and that should just open up my the psychology of my self-laid bed. But
No, wait, Lauren Boebert.
Lauren, I mean, it should give you an idea. Anyway,
Gary Markson.
that's not even. And if you say Amelia Hamer, I'm going to pop. It's just it's.
Amelia Hamer.
She's my Australian Rachel Riley, right? Like
What the fuck are you doing?
that's what I'm saying. Like these middle upper women who would never even have like the second of my time. That's
Well, this is a very interesting podcast.
Anyway.
Remember games?
back to
Ballerina was cool.
Back to John Wick
Yeah.
where this started. So I think the second and third, I think the third movie particularly sucked. I think Mark Dacascos was the only thing of the third movie that I liked. But John Wick 4 was really good. John
Yeah, it
Wick
was.
4 was a return to form that I think the series.
Yeah, just watch number 1, Ballerina, and number 4.
Yeah, okay.
Because Ballerina, they didn't girl boss it. In fact, it's I know my daughter loved one particular bit when she's getting wrecked in the training and the
Yeah.
fighting, and the training, the lady comes up to her and goes, "You are always going to be smaller. You
Yeah.
are always going to be weaker." And she goes, "So fight like a girl."
Yeah.
It's like, and it was good because she didn't girl boss it. She didn't raise Skywalker it. She
Well, no,
raised a lot.
Prey it. That my big one was Prey for that. Like, look, I agree. And Anna Diarmas is a great actress, and she's also, I mean, she's obviously hot as all fuck. Like we've seen her. Like, let's be real. It is what it is. She's the third wife.
I disagree.
She's my third movie wife. I have 3 movie
Yeah.
wives, right? So the OG of recent times is Aubrey Plaza. Fuck, I love Aubrey Plaza. She's like attitude
I
wise.
only see her on internet clips.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Second one is Margaret
Not
Qualley.
that.
I fucking love Margaret Qualley. Some Substance. Have you seen The Substance?
No.
So you should watch The Substance. Very good movie. And then the third one is Anna Diarmas. And because Anna Diarmas is the AI girl from 2049, Blade Runner.
Yeah, that wasn't a good movie. Blade Runner generally is so overrated.
Blade Runner 2049 was better than the original. And
Yeah, I'll give it. Yeah, that's true. But
I-
it's
I-
massively overrated.
I always say
series.
Rutger Hauer carries that first
He's the only
movie.
bit. The only bit.
I agree.
It's the only good bit. Mind
But-
you, every sci-fi person is going to hit the roof, but it is so overrated.
Yeah,
Blade Runner.
I think
The second one was okay. I didn't mind the twist. The twist was good.
Blade Runner's setting. Blade Runner set. It's one of those movies where the setting is interesting. It's unique, and that's what carries the entire
world,
movie.
yeah.
Like, the world. But I think as a movie, it's not great. I think it's one of Ridley Scott's best movies by far.
Oh,
But
Gladiator.
yeah,
Yes.
and I watched the amateur on the plane. The reason we'll come back to the amateur very quickly is
Yep.
at the end of the amateur, I'm going to spoil it. So if you wanted to skip forward 30 seconds, you're welcome to. But it wasn't that good a movie to skip. It was worth watching. I enjoyed it, and it was interesting to see how this Specky nerd suddenly falls in. Of course, the hidden asset's a Russian lady, and blah, 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 blah,
So
blah.
the enemy's always America's current enemy.
Basically, his wife gets killed, right? And so no, and then there's multicultural action task force. So one of them's a South African, one of them's an Austrian, one of them's a Russian, one of them's a like. It's greatest hits. It's European greatest hits, right?
Mhm.
But then at the end, so there's
All
like
against Russia.
yeah, well,
Yeah, weird.
no, I'm not against Russia. No, that's what
Oh.
I'm saying. The four guys who killed his wife were one of the different nationalities, and then there's the rogue CIA guy. It's the guy from Mindhunter. It's the big cop from Mindhunter, big FBI guy from Mindhunter. You've seen him 1,000 times.
Probably
He's,
have,
he's
yeah.
one of those guys, right? And Rachel Brosnahan, who is Lois Lane in Superman, is his wife in this. Is Rami Malek's wife. She dies, blah blah blah. And at the end, the young plucky CIA, well, young plucky, she's an older lady, but she comes up and she's, we told you that we would, commit these acts. We would only enact violence transparently for the American people, and we've taken action to ensure that happens.
Transparently.
Oh shit! That was the most. Superman is more believable. I would believe that a single man can fly and lift trains over his head than I would believe the CIA would be like. And just mark it. What are we on the 15th of July? Just mark this date. I think poor Albo is starting to fall afoul of the CIA, so we've got to be ready to defend.
You can tell the mood on the social media posts that are being pushed into my feed. It's definitely they are wanting because the price of the
and they still can't engineer. Yeah, they want the PBS, and that's
but also they've got to work quick because they have a massive issue they've got to take care of now about a certain island and a certain guy that may or may not kill himself. And right now that is I have never seen something explode like that.
I was going to say,
been the internet a long time. I reckon this is what would have been like when JFK got shot if the internet existed.
I was literally just about to say, I'm like, the funny part of it is you can see the confected outrage around Albo's very sane commentary about US-Australian relationship and the PBS versus the very real, like, I mean, this is that mental internet fringe who actually have a, someone showed them that the boogeyman that they've been pretending is real. They used to call everyone pedos.
This isn't a fringe thing because you're in danger. you're in danger when your own side turns on you.
Yes.
Because inside, say in politics, they'll do to each other and themselves far worse than they do across the things, right? So, and in this one, this is across the board, and normal media is trying to pretend we care about other things, but I don't think I've ever seen the internet across the board so angry.
Yeah, and rightly so. I mean, like it's very clearly. I mean, they campaigned on it. They were using all those influences and stuff. Pam Bondi handed out all those.
Yeah, but they lie. But they lie all the time, and they pull back on things all the time. This is the one that it goes back to QAnon and that, right? This is the one that this is the biggest betrayal. I think a lot of
they were finally
his side.
They were finally shown the proof that the boogeyman that they were told was real may not be exactly what they expected, but he was real. Do you know what I mean? Like he was real, and as much as Diddy's like he's finishing up his trial and stuff like that. I don't think there's underage things against Diddy, so he probably walks, right. R. Kelly
just beating up people.
Sure,
girls.
Yeah,
that's kind of it. But yeah, I get.
R. Kelly didn't walk. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that was because it was kids. It was because they were underage.
Diddy and Epstein was in the same week, but I've never seen this level of outright hostility. And like I said, it's when your own side turns on you that you're in trouble, and that's why people like Milo disappeared. Is you're quite okay until your own side turns.
Yeah.
In this case, his side's turned on him, and this could be one of the biggest things we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because if the Orange Man doesn't push something out, and right now I would be doctoring a list of the people I don't like, right, and just saying, hey, here's one.
Just write Bill Clinton in crayon and throw it at the
it's like Hillary and Sleepy Joe and all those people I don't like.
Well, they tried that. They tried to say that the dossier was made by crooked Hillary and Obama.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work
unless. And right now, if anybody has it, get it to WikiLeaks. I'm sure this is the hill Assange would like to die on. Because this is the biggest thing that'll ever happen. And I don't think that's going away. Most things go away, they peter out. I don't think this will.
I think if Assange releases it, I think that is when we have the
Oh, he'll be droned.
the American land invasion of Australia. I genuinely believe that
Yeah.
to be the case. Like, I just don't see a world where we
The
survive
chip they implanted in his neck will
but
explode.
blows up. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, but
cool.
no.
Yeah.
Superman's worth watching.
Oh, yep.
I will check out Ballerina because I'm glad that you agree because I think 4 was good and
Oh,
1
we
was
agree
good.
on so much stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's
movies
that's why I'm surprised we align on it.
and cinematic games.
Yeah, yeah.
Ballerina, look, she's good. She's a great actress in an action scene, and she doesn't girl boss it, and that was just so refreshing.
That was my, like I mentioned, that was my complaint with Prey. She took down like a teenage boy who was nearly double her size with brawn. Do you know what I mean? Like,
these big guys just reckon, but she improvises all the time.
Yeah.
And look, there's still a little bit of plot armor, but it is really good. And look, anyway, it's good, worth watching. I won't spoil.
Yeah,
won't spoil it, but yeah, definitely, I enjoy Ballerina a lot.
Yeah.
The third best John Wick film, and to say something's third best normally in a series, yeah, like third best Star Wars film, maybe, but this is the third best out of 2 movies that were S tier.
Yeah.
We're ahead of it.
Yeah, I agree. 1 and 4 were very, very good. I enjoyed them immensely, but 2 and 3 were brutal. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, they're okay, but they weren't. Nah.
They're just unnecessary. Like, you want to talk about like the sequels that just don't mean anything. Like 4 at least had an arc. You know what I mean? Like, anyway.
We managed to get 21 minutes without talking about a game.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, look, I was going to say I've been trying to get to Death Stranding 2 because I don't know if anything beats Death Stranding 2.
That's still not really a game, is it?
Let's have this guy. Look, it's on Sony. You can calm down. It's on the PlayStation.
I love it.
Just relax. You just pull back. Like, pull the reins on this one.
It's exciting as a right-wing commentator.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's really good. I love it a lot, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it ends up.
I'll do a segue from movies and the games. I was going to do is Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yes,
it's getting a season 2. So everybody who's maybe finally recovered from the first one, and if you hear that song, that I really want to stay at your house song, and if it still makes you a little bit sort of like, I better go for a little while because I got something in my eye.
Have they shown anything? Like, have they shown that it's Daniel is a direct continuation?
Nah, well, it's going to be hard to be Daniel,
right? Yeah, no shit. But like, is it still going to be like that part of the thing? Because I feel like
I don't know. The preview I watched, it was just a generic one.
Yeah,
it should be about Falco. Falco is the real hero of the show.
That's
Falco is a champ.
That's what I mean, right? I feel like
he could have run with the money and that. He did his job. That was a man.
Pointless.
He did
Come
his
on, man.
job.
Relax.
Falco is awesome.
I think that's the biggest, and that's the thing with even like Judge Dredd, right? And obviously, Cyberpunk and Judge Dredd share a lot of the same DNA. There's a lot of that same 1980s authoritarianism taken to its extreme, like corporatism taken it to its extreme. I feel like that's a very similar reaction. You could do it in another mega town, you could do it in another mega city, and it still will, as long as you fit the vibe right, the story will be believable. And I think that's the one advantage of something like Cyberpunk's world. It's so kind of layers on layers on layers that even if the game was lackluster, I still don't think it was that particularly great.
I like the realism.
I think the fact that it's more. I think you say that, but like, so
it's only a couple of years away from us.
Yeah. I mean, I wish like my first car was a Mitsubishi Scorpion, Sigma Scorpion, right? Now, for those of you who don't know what a Sigma Scorpion looks like, there's a 2-door mid-size convertible in Cyberpunk, and it looks exactly like that, and it makes sense because that was the era when the timelines diverge, is about that 1980s when Japan was on top of the world and they hadn't been buried by America at that point. So it's interesting that a lot of that Cyberpunk mythos still follows a lot of those car designs and world designs of an ascendant Japanese society.
Yeah, well, the 80s is the best time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now I did last week. I talked about how Forza was being shut down. Okay, more bad news for racing fans. I'm going to do games. Games. More bad news for racing. EA is quietly parking. That's the words they use. Quietly parking the Need for Speed franchise. Well, that's a big one. Over time I've been growing up playing games, Need for Speed has been a big staple, and it hadn't been one for a little while, I don't think. But it sounds like it's dead as well. Racing games, outside of your iRacing and your real enthusiast stuff, are racing games in trouble?
I think racing in general is in trouble like that. I think obviously there's enough people who love V8 supercars and F1 and stuff like that, and I've always felt it's an unfair comparison. People compare V8 supercars to NASCAR. I'm like, that's not the same thing. Like driving in a speedway is not the same as driving around an actual track.
Driving in circles is
Yeah,
well, yay.
like yeah, compare Bathurst to like a speedway, right? Like it's not the same thing.
Well,
And
Bathurst. I mean, growing up, Bathurst was massive, but maybe I knew a lot of bogans. But
in Geelong, no way. Like, but I think like so I think there is still that hardcore undercurrent of racing enthusiasm. Like I mean I live in a world of I have two Japanese produced cars, so I understand that world as well a little bit. And I mean and there's that kind of reverence for it. Like there's a lot of that weeb reverence for both K trucks and for
well, Subaru versus the WRX versus Lancer,
yeah. And I
sort
mean
of stuff.
and
Although
that,
rally racing seems to be dead.
dropped
Although
off after
it's
Group
mostly
B.
a European thing.
When they killed Group B, that was the big one. But I think like the 3-cylinder, like I mean, this is the thing. Toyota's making the best cars you could have hoped for 15 years ago. Everything went safe after 9/11. Everything went safe, and so like safety standards and all that. Cars went boxy, they went heavy, they went like the performance cars weren't really performance cars, all that kind of stuff.
Now in China they're turning into spaceships,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
in America they're basically going back. Eventually, they're just going to be putting steam engines on top of the cars. They're regressing so much.
They'll put what is it, SMEs, SREs, the small reactors inside them, go full Fallout.
If they could do the Fallout style of small nuclear reactors in cars, they fucking would.
But I think that also has part of it to do with it. Is that how do you do a car culture that has been so heavily cracked down upon, and electric cars don't excite people the way that
A V8. You look at the V8 stuff.
I wish I didn't like the smell of burning rubber, of the sound of V8. I told you about when I was in Japan. We were up in Shiga in the mountains, and a friend of mine was driving, and she stopped off to get petrol, and I'm sitting in the back, and I was just going. I tell her, I go, oh my god, petrol smells like petrol. And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. I'm like, yeah, petrol smells like petrol, as in it smells like what it used to when we were growing up, like with all the
What, in Japan?
Yeah,
I used to work at a petrol station, so
with
on top of all the lead that I've got in me as well.
I mean, explains
Now microplastics.
Yeah, explains the late in life heel turn.
And the asbestos walls in my school.
Yeah.
How to make it?
I was like, how are you going to get cremated? Cremation's not going to work. Yeah,
it's fun. I can just lie there, look at the flames.
Yeah, you call them nuclear bombs, and it's like, oh, how are we going to cremate the body? It's like, we're not. It's just, everyone just used him as a paperweight. We use foundations for the concrete house.
There'd be a bunch of older Gen Xers full of asbestos and
Don't
stuff.
burn.
If there's a nuclear war, we'll be walking around.
But yeah, no, I just don't think the car racing scene like that has the same interest. I think, especially with the death of Top Gear, I think Top Gear was the last one making it culturally relevant, and then there's just not that. There's an undercurrent of it, like there's still an undercurrent for sure. But I think modern drivers are shithouse, and like we can say what we want about the reasons why, but I think people take for granted that cars are so safe now that they do the stupidest shit. Like I was driving behind a taxi. I'm not going to tell you what kind of car it was, but I'm going to tell you it's a white Camry. I'm not going to tell you what driver it was. It's a white Camry. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is what I'm talking about. That's how we've delineated those lines. If they drive away, if you say the word white Camry or grey Camry, if you say the word Tesla, if you say the word Ranger or Ram, you know exactly who's driving them. You can spot it in your head, right? Because these things exist for a reason. But yeah, on his phone the whole time, on his phone, and like 3 sets of lights got caught because he was on his phone, and it was just driving in a car that requires you to drive the MX-5. Like I'm just sitting there going, you can't be serious. Like every single light you have stopped, you have been on your phone so long that I've had to beep you to do it. And I'm like, after the third beep, I'm like, if he gets to the next one, I'm going to have to do more than just beep. Like, I'm going to have to knock on the window and just say, learn to fucking drive, because it was just so frustrating that he wasn't paying attention to the road in front of him. Like, he just was, like, he nearly went through one of the reds because he wasn't paying attention to the fact that it turned red and there was people waiting at the things. It was just insane to me. It's like, I don't mind the occasional glance at your phone when you're at a light or something like that, or someone sends you a text, oh yeah, cool, whatever. But the standards of driver have dropped so far, and I think the other thing as well, young people don't get their license anymore. They don't need to get their license.
No, my son's not really interested in his license.
Yeah, and I mean, and but the thing with it, and I'll say that because where you don't live anywhere particularly good with good public transport. Do you know what I mean? Like public transport's not the strength of where you live.
No, he just doesn't.
But because you drive him everywhere, you spoiled him. But that's okay. It's your kid. But like,
Well, welcome to the
No, but
Taking
like
Over
no, but
podcast.
I had my learners the day after my 16th birthday, and I drove in the 2 years between my learners and my license. I would say I drove maybe a couple of thousand hours. Like my
We
dad would make me drive
Well,
places.
growing up in Geelong, we didn't have a
You had
choice. So
to,
if you,
absolutely, yeah.
we had a bike, and then we had
Yeah.
had a really cheap car, like a 120Y or a 200V.
I mean, and I
Um,
mean, I Datsun is my true secret love. If I was going to buy one, if someone said to me, "You've got buy some classic car, I'll give you $100,000. What are you going to buy?" It's a 240Z.
Yeah.
I don't even have to think.
And if
about
somebody
it.
had a Tirana, they were a legend.
And I like for all my disdain for Holdens, an SL, what is it, SL Tirana? Oh my god, like in that lime green, like lovely
Yeah.
stuff.
So I'm worried that racing games.
I think it's a cultural thing, and I think
might be going the way of shooting games.
I think the only racing games you
gun
can get away
games.
with nowadays are either Mario Karts or futuristics. I think there's room in the world for another
Yeah.
Wipeout. So yeah.
Yeah. Wipeout had been around for a while. It's a good game. All right, cool. Because I love Sony.
Yeah. See, here he goes. Can't stop him.
Revealed. What is the next one? Oh, okay, cool. Now there was we're going to use short articles because this next one's long. Some drones. All right. Okay. Just quickly. I got this sent this by Luke. You've seen this
Yes.
as well. Big hello to Luke.
I've only seen the headlines.
G Game Plus is what do they normally call him for friend?
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. That's it. Yeah. Hey, Luke. So King, who made Candy Crush, have laid off his staff,
Under the Activision umbrella, which I think is
which is
important.
part of Microsoft. This comes back to Microsoft's pushing AI. Basically, the claim at the moment is that the people who work at King have been training AI models to replace them, and they're being laid off. So they've lost like half their workforce or something. Which is an interesting one because Microsoft is so committed to AI. We're going to really regret them buying so many gaming franchises
I think it is that sliding doors.
because they're gonna cause some damage on the way out.
I think it's sliding doors. I think it's that thing of Phil buys the thing, everything goes well, and he's given like kind of an imperative to do what he needs to do, and suddenly it becomes the golden age of gaming. And of course, we should have assumed that Microsoft was.
I think the golden age of gaming passed already. We're past it. But yeah,
So that said, I still live in a world, and again, for all the kind of lighthearted shit I give Sony, they funded
Helldivers,
Helldivers. They funded Kojima, and Kojima made the game he wanted to make.
No Man's Sky. They have picked a few little AA games.
Yeah, but that's why I'm so quick to go in.
That's why I like him.
Yeah, well, yeah, your mates. Well, no, like I've always said, like under Andy House made a lot of really good decisions that set that company up for the last 10 years of their success. Like they owe it so much to Layden and House.
I actually thought though, I did say on the podcast about 3 years ago, I thought that the PS5 was Sony's last ever console.
Yeah,
and Microsoft since then have said, hold my beer, we're more stupid.
Well,
I won't say the word I was going to use because it's bad. But
you're using the S version of that word recently.
More stupid. So
no, so to piggyback off that, I don't know if you saw that the pricing for the Asus Xbox coded ROG handhelds.
No, I haven't seen the pricing yet.
So
looks like a cool machine.
It's like €899 for the top tier one, which I think I was reading a Canadian about it. 1,500 Canadian dollars, so it'd be 1,500 Australian dollars. Like the ROG handheld, the Asus.
Way more than a Steam Deck.
Oh yeah, but it's way more powerful than a Steam Deck. Like, and the thing is,
do I care about playing Steam games or Xbox games?
That's not the one. That's not even the one. That's the one still running Windows PC. It's not running Xbox thing. And when it runs Xbox hardware, when it runs Xbox software, it's different. Suddenly that's Xbox Game Pass, which is good. Do you know what I mean?
I'm running Xbox Game Pass, but cloud gaming and also streaming from my Xbox on my local network.
Which would be enough latency.
Takes a bit of setting up, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. You do that with Steam. The one thing Jack insists that you can do is you can use your Steam Deck as a PS Portal replacement.
Oh yeah,
that I'm really keen to do because I'd love to play Death Stranding on my in a handheld.
You don't need Death Stranding. You can actually walk around. Playing the walking around game. All you need is like a fake baby. Is it Death Stranding 2 got a fake baby or whatever?
Well, it's not really a fake baby. It's a ghost baby.
It's not a real baby.
But
ghost baby.
Yeah.
Cool. That's kind of weird. But
this was the last photo I took at Smash.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. There you go. You're Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Death Stranding Jason.
So I have I have like
walking around. That's what you do. You walk. That's what you do. So
I have a cricket bag. Like I have a cricket bag. So like a reasonably big bag.
we're in Japan for 3 weeks and we walked like 20 to 30,000 steps a day. And that was most of the time you get telling us the curry place is just around the corner.
Yeah. Everyone, it's good exercise. I got back from Japan. Everyone's, oh, you've lost weight. I'm like, I really haven't, but it's just gone to the right place.
I lost 6 kilos.
I believe it.
I'll put it back on when I came.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is I should go to Japan more often.
Yeah. That's a good moral.
What was I talking about? There was something else. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. So the training AI to replace, because AI is going to be a disaster at some point, right? Because this doesn't work.
Someone's going to be left holding the bag.
But it does remind me of when about 25 years ago, all of us white programmers in Australia, and I know it happened in the US as well, were training Indians to replace us. And so now it's gone the next step because they've decided Indians are too expensive now.
Paying people? God, that's so blasé.
You know what you should do is you should write unionizing software for computers and we'll just fuck all up.
It's just that libertarian streak in devs. You can always listen to devs who, will be exceptionally talented programmers or exceptionally talented this, and they think that
program is libertarian,
hardcore, and they think that same level of expertise comes across.
Yeah, because we're all better than everybody else, and it won't impact us. But see, the thing with that AI is going to collapse, and when it does, it looks like Microsoft's going to get brought down worse than any other game company. Yeah, you're not hearing the same noises out of Sony.
Yeah, it is interesting because you are hearing the vultures circling like, will Microsoft buy Steam to prop up the ship? And I'm like, but I think at this point, how do you justify another the valuation on Steam will be $20 billion, you know what I mean? Like,
their obsession with AI might save Steam. But I'll get to Steam in a moment.
Yeah, but also you're hearing that in the car world. Like, you want to go back to your car point. There's rumor, obviously Honda and Nissan were in talks. So there's talks in America of a Honda Nissan collective to cut down costs over there in the face of the Trump tariffs. And then there's rumors that Toyota might buy a Subaru or a Mazda so that they can still have a combustion engine branch and move on to...
Years ago, Toyota licensed their hybrid engine technology, which is actually really good, to Subaru. And I was very excited because I had a Subaru before I bought Priuses.
The problem is...
I would kill to have it.
Well, I mean, Subaru. And it would work because Subaru is the big thing with boxer engines. They have no gut slow down. And the one thing electric engines have is gut slow down. They just don't have top end. So it's actually a match made in heaven compared to...
The symmetrical all-wheel drive was... You could just drive in the wet like it's driving.
Well, I mean, that's with the little truck, right? If it's too wet or whatever, or I'm worried about the conditions, just pull on the four-wheel drive and off she goes. So.
Yeah, you can put your arms out the side, just steady it with
true.
All right, cool. So now the last thing I actually had here, but that we wasted a heap of time talking about Superman, which is the... You would have seen it, the Stop Killing Games initiative.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about that because I
thought you were going to bring it up last week. I'm not going to lie.
I did, but we ran out of time because you got sad at something I said.
I got sad. See, don't say dumb shit. Like don't sit here defending Sony.
So the Stop Killing Games. Now we need to have a bit of chat because that's been very exciting. Now Stop Killing Games at its core is actually a really, really good idea.
Yeah. So it's about the idea of not killing off game servers and about maintaining access to the actual files for archiving purposes.
According to them, it's challenging the legality of publishers destroying games that they have sold to consumers, and that has caused a lot of fuss because even Notch came out, who still has a big following and a lot of the people who
you want to talk about libertarian developers, yeah.
Well, but he said he actually retweeted the phrase that a lot of publishers apparently getting upset with is, well, if buying games isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing. Now, I'd argue pirating is not stealing anyway because stealing means depriving somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
The reason
you get resource,
the reason you get in trouble for stealing somebody's car is they don't have their car.
So that's why horse theft was a big deal.
Yeah, the only problem with you pirating a game is that the corporation missed out on a little bit of money.
Yeah. So I mean, there's two-pronged answers to that. Obviously, Gaben, it's not a cost issue; it's a service issue.
Yeah.
And not famously had a tweet that was like 10, 15 years ago now. And so I was like, I love Minecraft, but I just can't afford it. And he just basically said, I don't care if you pirate it. Like, there's enough people buying it. Like, it's not going to matter. And because there is always people who are going to say, I want that support. I want that back end. And with Helldivers, I don't have to, like, with the way you can earn the currency in game, you don't have to spend money on the currency. But you know what? Occasionally I'm 200 super credits short, and I'm like, you know what? I'm happy to throw them $10. I
I
want
did
these
that
guys.
with Plants vs Zombies
Yeah.
to get to level 333 to get a unicorn chomper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did buy a couple of packs, not much, but I didn't have to. But there was a couple of challenges that were just really annoying me. I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
But I was able to get like 90% of the way there just
Yeah.
by playing.
And I mean, I didn't have to throw it. I could have just done it. And that's what I like. The fact is, I have the option. I can just play it and earn the same thing. But instead, I'm like, I like these devs. I like what they do. I'm happy to chuck them $10 every couple of months and be the end of it.
Yeah. Look, I think, yeah, they don't understand that as much because the publishers shut down the devs normally. So you can't give the devs, because there was one of the publishers, I think it was Ubisoft, one of the guys said, oh, you should be able to tip the devs in the game. You go, that's fine, but you probably sacked them.
Yeah.
So when I give a tip, it's like when I tip at Coles at the self checkout. Like, where's the tip going? Anyway, so the other thing they said is they stop killing games. They say their aim is stop making games unplayable when support from the publisher ends.
Yeah. They're
asking for an end of life plan.
Yep.
A modification or a patch to the game so that the customers continue to play it. One of those being allow customers to have their own servers, which I think is incredibly important because every game used to have. This is also pointed out by Notch. Every game used to have their own servers, right?
Yeah. You look at all the Valve classics. You can still download a 1.6 thing for whatever, and you can play 1.6 in about 10 minutes, and you'd be having a game of CS 1.6. You know what I mean?
And if you could do that, games like Titanfall would still be very active. So I think, and it's the problem, the publishers want to do their own servers. They get all the data and everything. But the big problem there is that then they take on the responsibility and the social media sort of backlash.
That's the
when
big
bad
one.
shit happens.
That's the big one. I reckon most of the conversation is that if they were like, you know, someone will see a clip out of context 2 years after a game's not being supported and it'll be like full of Nazi mods or something like that, right? And someone will go, "Oh, how can Ubisoft let this happen?" It's like, well, we didn't fucking let it happen.
But that's a maturity thing from media.
And that goes back to the infantilization we were talking about last week.
The normie media cracks the shits and goes, "But games are for kids." Like when my brother bought his son when he was about 9 or 10. He bought him Grand Theft Auto 5 when it first came out, and he contacted me. What the fuck's going on here? What's this game about? I'm going, hey, Mark, that's for 18 plus.
Your boy's
not 18. He goes, "Oh, my wife bought it. He wanted the game." I'm like, "Yeah, but I mean, we don't look at movies and music and say they're for a particular age group, and we need to mature enough that video.
Well, I mean, this has always been the conversation in Australia. An R rating for a video game is less than an R rating for a movie. You can get away with more in a movie than you can in a video game, and for no other reason than it's video games. So it's the mindset that the mainstream has around video games.
Normies ruin everything.
Are we still? Is it Sarah Sterling, Jim Sterling? I don't know what they're calling themselves nowadays.
Oh yeah, Jim Sterling. Yeah. Actually, Jim Sterling's
latest one about YouTube.
Stephanie Sterling. I watched it today. The latest one about YouTube is absolutely superb. Everybody needs to watch it. About how YouTube is forcing everybody to change the language, like using things like unalive and that.
Yeah, and I do particularly hate unalive more than anything else.
And the impact, and she talks about many impacts, but one of the impacts is you can't talk about mental health support because YouTube is decided you're not allowed to use the word. So you have to do the, and she talks about watching a Holocaust video and they couldn't even mention that Jews were killed. I mean,
there's exactly
going on there.
And there is a moral imperative to be able to call something what it was. And the other side of it is that hyperbolic speech has become, it's easy to be hyperbolic in the modern world. You know, in the old days, someone would have written you off for saying such and such and such. And this is where we went from the real gatekeeping of previous media of like kind of the 90s and early 2000s into the non-gatekept media, and it means that everyone has access to the internet. But the problem is, it means everyone has access to the.
Well, they made it safe for advertisers, so the advertisers can be scumbags. That's another problem. The advertiser gambling ads almost non-stop.
Yeah, and you know,
why is that safer?
And Stephanie brought up specifically the Balatro example, which we joked about weeks ago, was the idea that Balatro got knocked back for gambling references, a game which has no insidious microtransactions, is a once-off purchase of 15 Australian dollars. You buy it once, and it's just a math nerd game. It's just about how you can do maths in your head quick enough to
Meanwhile, the people protecting us from that are flooding our YouTube with
Yeah.
gambling
I
ads
mean,
and Ladbrokes and sports
little
bet.
kids are buying V
Yeah,
Bucks, and they're buying, and
yeah.
again, if you want to talk about
So,
homogenization of culture, you know, everyone's like, oh, yeah, Chun Li from Street Fighter. No, Chun Li from Fortnite, because these cultural references. I mean, the idea is, I think that they see this character in, or people love Street Fighter, so they'll buy it in Fortnite. Gives them a reason to play Fortnite, and there's an element of that for sure. But they're trying to introduce these new characters to the audience of Fortnite. But the problem is, Fortnite fans are Fortnite fans. They don't necessarily play other games. It's like Fortnite players will play Fortnite.
oh, they put Star
Ro-
Wars that in because Star Wars is lame.
Right, Roblox. I mean, and then how long did it take him to make Darth Vader anti-Semitic? Right, like, and so it just becomes.
But that's the thing. I mean, the thing that Stephanie still was talking about, the thing that started her on the idea for the video, she said, was there was a video about the Holocaust.
Yeah, and you had to call it like, the event, the events,
the event that unalived the Jews. And you go, well, what a bizarre way of describing mass murder.
It's
right?
absurd.
So,
It's absolutely absurd.
because YouTube has these conditions on for advertisers. So the impact is that they're making it all like safe for advertisers
Yeah.
by making it difficult to discuss very important
Yeah.
things. And that plays into the hands, as you point out in the video, plays into the hands of
Yeah.
people who would want to deny those things because then they can.
In classic Sterling style, there's so many clips of Metal Gear Solid 2, and again, you want to talk about Kojima as a prophet. Like, he actually brought that up when he had the conversation with George Miller in person. He goes, "No, I don't plan these things; they just tend to happen after my games come out." And it's talking about how, in the post 9/11. I mean, this is literally as 9/11's happening. Keep in mind that's when Metal Gear Solid 2 had a bunch of content cut because it was set in a terrorist attack in New York, and it released basically as 9/11 happened, right? Like right around that period. And so it was in production before it came out. And then suddenly it was how a terrorist attack in New York caused a surveillance panopticon to exist, controlled by AI bots and artificial intelligence. Like, the man shouldn't be. I mean, obviously he's just reading tea leaves that are there. Like, he's just reading.
Well, you know that Twin Towers weren't in Deus Ex.
Yeah.
The original Deus Ex came out around 2000.
And there was a terrorist
The
attack.
skyline of New York had no Twin Towers.
And there was a terrorist attack at the Statue of Liberty. But like, so basically, but he says that it's not about controlling the content. You can still discuss these things, but it's about taking the context away. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
That's what Noam Chomsky says. You allow vibrant conversation with very strict boundaries.
Yeah.
So you don't discuss whether there should be a war. You discuss how the war should be.
Should be fought. Yeah.
And that's what media's always existed for. But anyway, so the Stop Killing Game stuff, it's a good cause, has attracted a bit of backing. They took it to the EU, whatever does their laws there, and every publisher put in an argument against it. Except for Steam. Except for one, except for Steam, good old Gabe. But they're arguing that that's going to restrict them on how they make the games, whereas I would argue that that's bullshit, because all they have to do is either add a single player mode, take out the offline stuff, or, and this should have happened in the case of something like a Titanfall, just release the server code. If people want to, and this requires a bit of maturity from the normie media. If people want to play their game that is like 30 years old or 20 years old, and they can run their own server, like everybody does with Minecraft servers, right? Let them do it. And in their own environment, what happens is up to them. And yes, they're going to find some Nazi server somewhere. But you know what?
Put that in the end user license agreement. From this day forward, we take no further responsibility for both the upkeep and maintenance of this game and the content produced from this
because
software.
Ownership is a very important concept, and because you've seen the backlash to that, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. And people were rightly very a real reaction, the visceral reaction, because it is going that way. But it is. If I had paid for the game, this thing about games being licensed crept through without anybody really knowing that that's what was happening. That was a bit of a stealth thing that happened. But all this Stop Making Games asking for is just an end of life plan for when the game's not supported. It's not that hard. As Notch was very adamant that all games used to have their own servers. You used to start a game up in the Xbox, and that you were running the server.
Yes, we
Everyone
bring
to
the
join.
key, right? Yeah.
So it can be done. It's pretty easy. Or let people have their own. Like there are a lot of games. Minecraft's not the only one. There's Terraria. There's a bunch of other
Yeah.
games where you can run your own servers just in
But
Docker
see, my
containers.
thing with them is a lot of indie devs with a lot of libertarian values. You know what I mean? Like you want to talk about
This is my other thing. I was talking about this with my son. Now I think there's a real easy solution, and I think the publishers now. If you took out the conspiracy theory that I have that the publishers are really this is about shaping the video game environment into a point where there's like 5 games to play, right? Nothing else happens. I think though they're leaving money on the table, being idiots.
I mean, no, really?
Okay,
Yeah.
you go to an indie dev and you say I have the say you're in Bracer Group right now,
Yeah.
right? And you say I have the Deus Ex license.
Yeah.
And we can't be fucked making the game. Well, if we do, it's going to cost us $400 million and we need to make $1 billion back. We don't do that.
Yeah.
You go to a smaller dev and you say, make the game. You're a small team. You're really good at even Unreal Engine, right?
Yeah.
We don't care. It won't matter if you're making a Deus Ex game, what engine it's in, because it's about the story.
Yeah.
Same could happen with Tomb Raider. That's another one that would fit this. And you say, you make the game and we'll take a percentage of what it makes. The small dev, the like the dev that made maybe they're not small, but the one that made the Oblivion remaster, right?
Right. Yeah.
So devs could specialize in this stuff, and they
do. I mean, yeah, like Nintendo does that a lot. Tantalus locally did the Switch version. Was it where you?
So you can make a Perfect Dark, a Deus Ex, a Tomb Raider. Games that don't require a real, they're story games that don't require a special engine for it, right? So if you're doing like a Battlefield 20 something or whatever, right? You need it's such a big thing. You need I believe that's a dedicated large studio to do, right? But if you've got a story driven game like say the next Deus Ex Mankind Divided, where you finally find out about Janus and that, where basically you go to a small dev and you say, you do the game, we'll take a percentage, you take a percentage. It doesn't have to make that much money. That money the publisher makes is literally free money.
So
like they didn't do anything. They just get money.
2 problems. The overvaluation of intellectual property is a bit, I mean, this is the thing, intellectual property rights are the landscape of people who have no talent in there.
But if you're taking a percentage of the game,
but it's one of those things where it's like you may be taking a percentage of the game, but why can't we have more of that money? And that's the shareholder mindset.
More of the percentage.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a point where the small devs will say no. Yeah, right. That's part of negotiating, and a lot of business people are shit at negotiating, even though they think they're good. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. But the second part I will say, it does kind of happen. Like .emu did they do Streets of Rage? They definitely did the Turtles game. They're definitely doing another one coming up, and a lot of that is secondary. Like it's a publisher that then licenses them to do it. Like the publisher gets a license that then they do the game that's based on that. Like I think .emu are working on the new Scott Pilgrim game from memory, but yeah.
But you do it. I mean, Embrace is really bad. Like they bought all these licenses, are really cool, and they're not doing anything with it. But Microsoft's the same right now. Now Microsoft's strategy is different. They want to AI everything because they want to they
want content farms,
and it's a fantasy. And look, I don't know all this whole AI thing is a fantasy. Yes, you can automate some tasks. AWS is even sacking their devs while giving people like me certifications to be a dev, right? But yeah. You can automate some things, although I got to say, I mean, I'm amazed by some of the claims I see people make, knowing the work I do, and I'm thinking these people, it's going to sound bad. If your job can be automated, you're not doing anything complicated anyway. So therefore, you've got to ask yourself, what was I doing, right? So you should be at a point where it's very difficult to automate your job, not because you're like overcomplicating it, because you've gone the next level up. Like if your job back in the old days was adding numbers up, calculators came along and you didn't have a job. If your job, even typists and that, they didn't go. So you have to move your skills on as well. And I'm not saying learn that, the old learn to code, which was the insult that media used to do to coal workers and that. But yeah, like I think, yes, there's a point where your stuff can be automated. Microsoft, though, what they're doing, they're going to hit a wall where they are going to have so many secret Indians doing the work for them. This thing's going to collapse, and it's going to be a worldwide like economic disaster because the amount of money put in. That's going to be It's going to be wild. On top of everything else happening, it's going to be absolutely wild. But anyway, but I think at the moment, Microsoft's a different case because they are trying to they're trying to prove they can AI everything. But I think for any other group like Embracer and that who have a bunch of IPs, go to some smaller devs and just say to them, just hey, make the game. We'll just check in the quality on that, and we'll take a percentage. You can negotiate the percentage. Yeah, obviously there'll be tiers on sales and stuff like that, and just collect the money for doing nothing. The dev takes on all the risk.
Yeah.
Like, just do that. And you know what? If you're a small dev and you're offered to make a Tomb Raider game, right? Then you're going to jump at it because that would be the opportunity of a lifetime to get into something like that. I see that only as a win for everybody. And like I said, Microsoft's different because Microsoft have got brainworms right now.
Yeah.
But they do.
Look, I think you're seeing Satcher's hand coming in from above and saying like, and
they're living in a fantasy. They absolute they watched Iron Man and they went, holy fuck! Hey, I did ChatGPT and it guessed the next word. Therefore, like 15 times the rate. Therefore, it could I could talk to it like I'm Tony Stark and it'll just do stuff.
Hello, Jarvis.
And they have this fantasy they can sit around and go, oh, hey Jarvis, hey, write me a new Call of Duty game that's really good and everybody buys.
Do you know the funniest bit of that is how much Indians love Tony Stark and Jarvis? Like that's such a funny irony there. So yeah,
but that's what they think. I've got no doubt they actually think at that level because once you get to that level of management or you're in that, you're just not smart, right? It's I don't know how many times I saw it in corporate. The higher you go, the dumber the people are.
Yeah,
it's just how it is. But outside of Microsoft, who are I can't say the word. Get in trouble. But outside of Microsoft, for all the other publishers that are just sitting on IPs and they're not going anywhere. Look, even if you made a perfect Dark game and it's a small dev and you took a percentage of it, you've just made free money. I don't understand why they don't do it.
A lot of the remasters, I mentioned .emu and .emu
remasters as well.
They did a lot of these Square Enix remasters. They've done a lot of like a bunch of remasters where they got this
remaster the original Deus Ex. Yeah, you'd sell enough to support a studio.
It just came out on PS Plus.
The remastered.
Oh yeah, but it's the PS2 version. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. The PC one needs to come back with like controls you can use.
Yeah, that's brutal.
That's dated. Yeah. That is dated so bad. But anyway, look, that's the solution to all this. But like I said, Microsoft have got another strategy, but the other ones just go to small devs. And if you do have an end of life thing for related to the stop killing games. Again, a small dev will support it. There are so many teams out there that would do it. And like places like Melbourne have got places where you go like Acme and that where you could probably find some. You walk in, say, hey, they're there waiting to do some sort of work, and I'm sure. I don't understand why the big publishers don't do it. Sure, they won't make $1 billion. But, hey, look, if you make a little bit of money and you didn't do anything for it, it's still free money.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's not how modern business culture thinks. It's like it's all their quarterlies.
You got 10 licenses and you just farm them out and you make a couple of $1 million of each. That's still money.
Yeah, one would. But yeah, I think you just think about it too logically. There's your problem with modern business culture.
The shareholders want line go up, and problem is at the moment the line not go up. The only way the line go up is this sacking people with this fantasy that you can replace them with AI.
Yeah.
Now that can only go on so long. That's
before the fallacy comes true.
Yeah. At some point, like Microsoft with their 14,000 H1B visas, they're going to have so many hidden secret, like little sweatshops just pumping out stuff, pretending to be like what was that Builder.a was?
Yeah.
And the Indians they had there were freaking geniuses to be able to fake that for so long. But that's what they're going to be doing. At some point, that can't scale in any way. They can pay the H1B visas hardly anything, but there's a point where they just can't do what they want to do.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Look, we're coming up on an hour.
Julian Assange said years ago that he believed that the tech bros are so desperate to do this stuff because they want to transfer themselves into a computer, like London.
Yeah, I was going to say
and be immortal.
Yeah,
Julian Assange said that is actually like Bezos.
That's what they want to do. Like a Peter Thiel special right there.
Pretty sure Peter Thiel's already some sort of
AI construct. Yeah.
Look at his skin.
Yeah.
He's doing some longevity stuff that involves like Oh, in Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome,
He's doing something like that. He doesn't look right.
He's on the Hillary Clinton diet, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Have you noticed there aren't many people living still past 100?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how rich they are. So
I was looking at that the other day. Funnily enough, there was a chart that came up, and obviously we had the outlier, the lady who died, the French lady, I think died in like 96. Who was like 120. But the oldest people, yeah, that's slowly ticking
you're
down.
like Okinawa.
And it's always Japan, right? Because they live near the beach and they work. You see them walking around and stuff. Like, I mean, it's the hardest part about being on. We talk about Japan because it's us. The hardest part about being on public transport in Japan is what considered an old person. Like, you qualify for a seniors card now, so I'd be 50-50 on whether I get off the old person seat for you. But in Japan, a 56-year-old,
I hope so.
like,
unless you're like all cranky over something.
but no, I'm the only one who does it in Japan. Like the Japanese definitely don't do it. Like
all the billionaires, if they want to live forever, right,
Yeah.
just stop all the little programs and all the injecting baby blood and all whatever the fuck you're doing.
just live.
Go and live in Okinawa. Be an old Japanese lady.
Yeah.
Statistically, you have
Yeah.
more chance of living past 100 if you're an old Japanese lady.
But yeah,
than if you're being
I just think that, like, yeah, I mean, it's funny to see. I mean, it's good and bad. You do see a lot of old people still working and stuff, but I think there's a difference between working because you want to do it. Like, I've got older colleagues, you know, that I've worked with for years. They're coming up on 70 now, and they want to work. They still enjoy it. They still
but I don't like seeing them
camaraderie.
cleaning floors at Macca's. That's demeaning.
That I agree on, and then at the same
and a kid should be doing that. Sorry, it's going to sound like a boomerish,
Yeah.
but young people should be doing those jobs as well to learn.
Says a man who drives his son everywhere, and what it doesn't matter.
I swept floors at Macca's. I clean toilets and shit at
but you
Macca's.
didn't make your kid do it, so. And that's that conversation
It's not about him.
That's conversation about coming out of the lower classes and into the middle classes. You don't want your kids to go through it, but you got to where you were.
I'm putting his brain in a computer so that he live forever. He'll be in that. He'll just go. He'll say, "Well, Dad, can you put me in a computer runs Helldivers?"
Yeah, that's it. That's the spirit. Manage democracy. No, but like you look at the Shinkansen, it's all old dudes cleaning it, but they seem content doing it. You know, every 20 minutes pulls up, they vacuum.
Japan did have a lot of people doing service work, but I think the community mindedness there is so different to the white community.
But I think that's also going to die off soon. Like I say, you're seeing more and more international communities being brought in there, and I just wonder if the hive mind will survive it. The big election push at the moment is to tighten up foreign like immigrant laws and stuff like that. So Japan in true Japan style is having that extreme version of that conversation, and we'll deal with the ramification when it comes out. But even buying houses there is going to get more difficult, which is good. I think it needs to. It needs to actually be involved.
Every time we open up to the rest of the world, the internet showed us this. Every time we make the rest of the world closer, everybody goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
and says we want nationalism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, Japan's 95, 96% Japanese, 3% Korean, and 1 or 2%, 2 or 3% the rest. You know what I mean? Like it's. They're you want to talk about an ethno state? They're an ethno state for all intents and purposes. And anyway, moral story.
It's just black samurais and shit.
Look, moral story is, I don't know. I think I don't mind if people work because they want to work in their old age, but I can.
Has to be a choice.
I've said to everyone, if you said to me tomorrow, he's $10 million. But you're not allowed to have a job ever again. Fine with me. Do you know what I mean? Like I know exactly what I do with it. I don't do anything because I want to work. I'd be doing this. You'd be hearing more and more content coming out of me because I'd have somewhere to channel my energy.
Yeah, it'd be good if YouTube and that ever actually like didn't emulate the real world where there's a top 1% because it's a real pity that we built these tech platforms to democratize media. Because really all we're doing is exactly the same as every TV station's doing it. They're all podcasts and opinion pieces. It'd be really good if the tech platforms we built didn't emulate the real world, where 99% of people make nothing and 1% are fabulous. And that's what YouTube and Spotify and all that ended up being like, and it's a real pity.
Yeah. Exactly that. On that note, let's bounce. This may be the last podcast for a couple of weeks. We'll try and figure out a solution. Maybe we can do it the next few over the internet or something.
I'm gonna I'll send you an email about how Neil Druckmann is hopeless, and I'll hold the microphone outside, and wherever you are in the world, I will hear yelling.
I was going to say I've had an idea because we've been talking for a while about including like a third, getting some guests in. I think I figured out a way to do it, and anyway, I'll chat with Dad about it offline.
Am I going to know before it happens?
No. You don't warn me when you bring Junglist on my podcast, so why should I warn you?
I love that guy.
Yeah, I know you
I
do.
really
Other than that, thanks for listening. Yeah, hopefully we can figure out an online solution. It'd be too long in between otherwise. If I'm away for 2
You're not going to get Niche Boy or someone, are you?
yeah, your mate. Yeah, your fucking mate.
I don't even know him.
Yeah, good. I can't talk about the industry. I'm not allowed to.
You do that. I'm bringing
messages.
one of Jung's friends on.
I'll get angry messages if I say anything. Yeah, but no, we'll catch you soon. Hopefully we can figure something out. I might be away for 5 weeks, so I don't want to leave it that long.
5 weeks.
My trip might be 2 weeks long. It might be 5 weeks.
We're gonna have to do like the TV shows you used to, and just
I am going back to
out of order and just pretend they're new.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm going back to the old country. Yeah, like I'm off to see the family in Ireland. So
oh, really?
Yeah. So while I'm over there, I've never done Europe, so I'm like, why just fly across? So yeah.
Yeah. No. Cool.
All right. On that note, GG. We'll see you guys next time.